Let's all roll for our hobby. Let's all roll for our hobby. Oh, let's all roll for our hobby to get ourselves a crit. Tipsy's drunk as shit. Onyx loves to hit. Ooh, Rock's magic is handy. Toot Toot's music is dandy. So let's all roll for our hobby to get ourselves a crit. Let's all roll for our hobby to get ourselves a crit.
Come, friend, now lend me an ear for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with he, him, and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices. 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&D, featuring Victor and 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 Victor. One knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. 2 eyes, 4 cheeks, 2 souls on his feet. 2 hands for many new foes to defeat. 1 tongue, 2 lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Hey everybody, I'm Victor Rivera, and welcome to D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself, and welcome to episode 49, the penultimate episode of season 1. It is great to be here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get on into it. So, the theme song is produced and performed by Bradley Owens. You can find them at Bradley Owens on Instagram. And literally, I cried today while preparing. And it was very sweet because this show has meant a lot to me over my 2021-2022 year. When I was 30 years old. I'm still 30, but not for much longer. And speaking of days, tonight is episode 49. Tomorrow, July 28th, 2022, is officially the 1-year anniversary of D&Me. Back in July 28th, 2021, that was my first actual stream, my Twitch stream of D&Me announcement, where I announced this whole ding dong show. And then the week after that was episode 1, and we've been doing it for 51 weeks. I skipped 2 because of Thanksgiving and technical malfunctions. So that's exciting. Next week, August 3rd, is episode 50 and the season 1 finale of D&Me. And next Saturday, August 6th, is a very special D&Me Season 1 celebration. So I cordially invite you to a very special D&Me Season 1 celebration where that Saturday, August 3rd, 2022, 7 p.m., here Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/D&Me-adventures. This is where I'm going to do a whole wrap-up, a whole D&Me like the drink of the first year of the first season, the first 50 episodes. So please come along with that. That is Saturday, August 6th. Wow. A year. That is bonkers. Yeah, I know, right? I am ready. We'll be there. Perfect. Yes, that's Saturday. Great. Thank you also, Dodie or something, who resubscribed at Tier 1. They've been subscribed for 7 months, currently on a 7-month streak. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. And speaking of Dodie or something and Angelito Guapo, happy birthday to my mom and dad this week. So thank you so much. You are my biggest supporters. I love you very, very much. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all are probably the only ones to watch all 49 episodes so far. So thank you. That's humongous. The biggest support. So thank you very much. Yeah, and so after you know what? Never mind. And finally, almost as importantly, what is going on? Thanks. And you too very soon. Yeah, well, finally, most importantly, Monday, August 1st, couple days from now is my birthday. So that's great that D&Me and me share kind of the same birthday. And speaking of that, I have a couple birthday presents that I could open Monday by myself and then send some texts going, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Or I have some of the people here who gave them. I could do an unboxing live with y'all here. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I have one unboxing and then 2 unboxings. So this is me opening my birthday presents. So let's roll to see which of my boys opens what. 1 is Tipsy, 2 is Onyx, 3 is Rock, 4 is Toot Toot, 4 Toot Toot. Hello, sweet, bring it on. Yes, I shall. Unboxing number 1. A drum roll, please. When's my birthday? When are our birthdays? I will have to look in your weird Forgotten Realms Harp Toast calendar. I might figure out y'all's birthday by next. That's a D&D research already. All right, there we go. Oh, cardboard. Woo, thank you. No, that's silly. So, this is Tal'Dorei Campaign Setting Reborn. This is the second Critical Role campaign guide. This is amazing. Darrington Press, Matthew Mercer, Hannah Rose, James K. Hedek. So that is Tal'Dorei's Campaign Setting Reborn. It's a thick boy. Just like me, it's a thick boy. So that's wonderful. I have right here the first campaign, the first Critical Role series. So Tal'Dorei Campaign Setting and then Reborn. So that is excellent. We have all of the D&D campaign books and source guides. All of them except like the very, very newest ones. So that is very exciting. Thank you so much for that. And who rolls to open this one? That's a very good question. 1 is Tipsy, 2 is Onyx, 3 is Rock, 4 is Tipsy, 5 is Onyx, 6 is Rock. 2. Hey, what's up? I'm Onyx. So this is unboxing 2, and it's from the Convex Crimson or Red Bubble. So. Yeah! Stuck on me. So here's a couple things. Did I knock this? Okay, we're fine. Oh, a lot of stickers. All right. Play with myself station. Play with. Ah, shit. Play with myself station 5. All right. And then a big old D&Me. Look at that. Just big, real big. So, all right. And then, hey, look. It's the 3 Convex Crimson Kobolds. Look at them. They look great. Skin. I do skin. I do skin with the Buzzard Bros. So that's Vinny and Vicky, the Vulture Colcra, legitimate businessmen of Buzzard Bros, Butchers, and Towns and Tanning. So they are really good friends, and then they, so they're teaching me how to do skin. So there you go. Cool. We're gonna have to find a place to put them. They look great. Thank you. I'm back. I wanted to say thank you again. Thank you. Hello. Great artwork. Thank you very much. Here you go, Victor. Hey, thanks. So thank you so much. Hey, my birthday. That's wonderful. Eee. Perfect. They're perfect. Perfect. And finally, before I do D and recap, I have a D in research after the fact. So right at the very end, episode 48 was called Curtains, and I said that was a Broadway musical. You are most welcome. I did some more research about it. So I thought it was a wardrobe malfunction, and I recall that from something, somewhere. I don't remember where. But instead, I found that David Hyde Pierce, the fabulous actor and lead, he had a theater gone wrong moment where in one scene he had to jump from a high catwalk, and the wire that he was attached to got caught, and then he was slowly getting hung, like it started wrapping around his throat, and he got something called slow motion whiplash. But thankfully, the stage manager saw it in an instant and brought the curtain down, and they got him down safely right before he died. So, yeah, yikes. He's fine, and he's been doing a whole bunch of other great stuff since, but David Hyde Pierce almost died on stage. That's real bad, because he's real great. Me and Mom saw him in Spamalot as Sir Robin, brave Sir Robin. But the show opened on Broadway in March 2007, ran for 511 performances, and David Hyde Pierce won the Tony for Best Performance by a leading actor in a musical. So, yeah, that's curtains, and it was almost curtains on him. Oh, the irony. All right, so D&Recap. What happened in episode 48, Curtains? We did the second half of the theater battle where it looked like the Black Loxodon on stage was getting the better of Sheen, who was disguised as one of the actors. So Sheen then disguised himself even more as one of the actors, and they shuffled around so that the Loxodon couldn't tell who was who, but the Loxodon just was plowing through them. So with his adamantine maul, he straight up killed one and smashed through another. And yeah, out in the audience, the drow who stabbed Toot Toot earlier was still going after Bonnie, but after his hit points gone down to real low, then he kind of glitched back, and we learned that his name is Zavrin, who is the sister of Zawafin, who was Toot Toot's first love. And there was some outside influence to help Toot Toot with an insight check to make sure that Zavrin's intentions were true, and there was a couple range stuff going back and forth, and Tiffany got Bonnie out of the seats, but then in the very back of the auditorium in the box seats, boop, we heard clapping and some clacking of tiles as Circumstance turned up, and he was saying that the Mahouts that he hired are doing it too slow, killing them too slow, so he's going to take matters into his own hands, where Chainco, the dwarf nobleman, took matters into his own hands and pushed Circumstance over the edge, over the banister, where Circumstance then fell onto some chairs, and right at the very end, with Rock's magic missile, then we down Circumstance, and that is where we end things right now. So, running back into the auditorium from audience right is Yagra's. Nope, Tiffany's still in Yagra's form, which is a blue. Tiffany, still as Yagra, the light blue half-orc, comes back in and starts heading towards the stairs to check in on Sheen. You see them talk for a little bit, and then she hands him a health potion. And Zavrin, it's this electric silence right now where Circumstance was just defeated, but it's a moment or two before they have to do something. So Zavrin yells out to just the theater, "Check their pockets." And then Tipsy runs all the way to the back of the house to check on Circumstance. Tiffany is on stage, and Tiffany goes, "Great, that works perfectly. Onyx, come help me. I need help with the body right now." So Onyx is charging up the steps leading up to the stage, and then Zavrin will roll. Oh, no, that was a good one. Evens, yes. Odds, no. 2. Even, yes. So, Zavrin, a very weak Zavrin in Toot Toot's arms, pretty much, looks up at Toot Toot, and then he starts rummaging through his pockets, and he pulls out a rather large burlap sack, and then, let's see, Zavrin is even, Black Loxodon is odd. That's a 7, so Black Loxodon. So Zavrin pulls out a large burlap sack, and on stage, Onyx is digging through pockets, rage looting, and he pulls out a similar heavy burlap sack, and then a folded over piece of parchment, and then while checking the body, then he also flips the giant 10-foot tall Black Loxodon over, and he can see Tipsy's magical automatic throwing knife still stuck in his shoulder blade, so he pulls that out. Tipsy, catch! And then Onyx throws the magical automatic throwing knife at Tipsy, who's at the very back of the auditorium, so that's more than 60 feet away. So for a thrown weapon with range, turn to pages. If you're within 20 feet of a thrown weapon, then you have a straight roll. If it's outside of 60 feet, then you roll it at a disadvantage. So I'm going to see if Onyx throwing the knife goes all the way to Tipsy or not. So that's a fun thing to figure out. Let's do YouTube. So this will be at disadvantage. That's 9 and a natural 1. So, yeah, it's not going to rate to Tipsy. Let's see. Halfway between Tipsy in the back of the house and then Rock on stage, and then Onyx on stage is a big, fat, meaty Toot Toot whose back is facing towards Onyx. And then you hear... Ow! And Onyx will roll for damage. 1d6 plus 4. Great. 2 plus 4, 6. Oh, Toot Toot doesn't have a lot of health. Oh, man. So his 14 health goes down to 8. And Toot Toot... Are you kidding me? I was aiming for Tipsy. Hey, if you could, Toot Toot, if you could throw it to Tipsy now. Ah! And then you see his trunk squirming on his back, writhing like an octopus tentacle. Okay, never mind. Here's also a piece of paper. And then Onyx throws the piece of paper. Oh, what's that? A 13 plus 4, 17? Yeah, all right. So to make up for the knife, Toot's getting stabbed all over the place. So the piece of paper catches a drift and flies perfectly over to Toot Toot, and Zavrin reaches up and grabs it. Okay. Tipsy in the back of the house going, "Ugh, hey, sorry about that, Toot Toot, although it's not my fault, it's his, so blame Onyx." And then he ruffles through Circumstances' green and orange and yellow and white nice blazer, but it's this curling in on itself reptilian form, because he's dead. So Tipsy will find okay, let's do 1d6 platinum. That's 5 platinum. Holy cow. 5 platinum. And 5d20 gold. So 13 plus 2, 15 plus 5, 20 plus 3, 23 plus 16, 23 plus 16, 39 gold. That doesn't seem like a lot. Oh, that 2 and that 5 and that 3. Okay, that makes sense. So 39 gold. Tipsy will, let's see, Chainco's right over there. So Tipsy digging through Circumstances' pockets will do it sneakily, I guess. Okay, it's not going to go well, but, well, 10 plus a 10, that's a 20. What is Chainco's? Because Chainco's watching. Chainco, your intelligence and wisdom are 0. So with an 18, ooh! Yeah, Tipsy, while yelling over at Toot Toot, then it's like checks, it's misdirection where he's checking the pocket closest to Chainco, but then he feels all the gold in the pocket across the body that Chainco can't really see, as well as the one directly in front of him. So Tipsy pockets 5 platinum and 39 gold. Holy cow. So then, yes, let's roll also. Yeah, let's roll and see which the higher values are. 8 and 7. So, Zobrin snatching the letter out of the air, he goes, This is half of the payment. This is $800, 800 gold. What you'll find on the Black Loxodon is also 800 gold. But here, this is the letter that hired us. So, getting the magical automatic throwing knife, and he's within 60 feet of Tipsy, so he'll frustratingly throw it at Tipsy, who Tipsy has, it's automatically going to hit. So let's do Uncanny Dodge. Is that the one that reduces the... Yes, Uncanny Dodge. Use a reaction to have the damage when an attacker you can see hits you. Well, let's see if Tipsy was watching, because he might have been focused more on his looting. So 3, Tipsy does not notice. Tipsy takes the full brunt of that 1d6 plus 4. 3 and 7. So yeah, Tipsy, who never gets hurt because he's always range, so he gets 7 damage. 1. His 31 goes down to 24, and he goes, ow! Oh! So that's what it feels like on the receiving end of that. That's not great. I know! And so then Toot Toot's trunk angrily snatches the piece of paper, and then he reads a letter which says, Send your best professionals, those who know full well the conditions of the job. If they accept and succeed, they may return to your employ with the rest of their payment and the rest of their lives. If they fail, you will not hear anything in 10 days' time. Then it is your job to fill the new vacancies in your roster. Either way, the job is over. Signed, Deception. And you can see that this is the same super fine calligraphy in still shining emerald ink. And this matches the same handwriting of the 2 letters that Bonnie and Tiffany got that brought them into the theater. And you can remember that when they arrived back into Waterdeep, all of Victorious and all of the NPCs from the Restful Lily, then you can remember that Circumstance said that his code name is Deception. And you can remember that Sheen, back in his dressing room, said that Circumstance chose his own name and that his folly would be his pride/ego. So, yeah. Zobrin watches Toot Toot finish reading the letter, and he goes, yes, from what I understand, Circumstance hired us, the Mahouts, of course, and he was the one who told Nowhere that you all are here. The Mahouts work closely with Nowhere. So that is the situation. But You hear Chainco from the back of the auditorium go, so he told me about that letter. And I talked to his servants, and they said he's only sent 3 letters in all his time here in Waterdeep. So I have it on good authority that he didn't hire anyone else. So it looks like from that letter that hopefully everything's all right from nowhere and the house. And Rock at the front of the stage, the half-orc wizard. Rock the half-orc wizard at the front of the auditorium, front of the audience, meets Toot Toot in the middle of the aisles and then collects Paige, who is kind of in shock as she's still looking towards the stage at one of the actors who she completely fried. And Toot Toot goes, okay, so it looks like we just have a couple moments before everyone who left the auditorium either comes back or we have to deal with the rest of the audience and the rest of the play. So I have a couple questions. One, when we were in... So Circumstance was in the Restful Lily after he arrived to Waterdeep, but when we were in the Sea Ward, then I specifically remember seeing that color palette. He points towards Circumstance's fallen body. The greens, the oranges, the yellows, and the reds. Why is that the case? And then Chainco steps forward and goes, he had his staff stay around the Sea Ward after he left to keep up appearances that he was still in Waterdeep and that his influence was great. And not quite passing over Circumstance's body, then Chainco stares down and he goes, he used me. He promised if I helped him and served under him at the Restful Lily, then we would be business partners when we came back to Waterdeep. But he was completely obsessed and addicted to his new money and hardly talked to me. He just bossed me around and snapped at me. All he cared about was money and status. Then he looks up at the players out in the auditorium. If he got rid of the other doppelgangers, then he thought his standing would have been greater when he returned to Anywhere. He thought that he'd get pity money, reimbursement, and honors for being the only surviving Waterdeep doppelganger. Circumstance brought me here tonight to watch your destruction to further solidify his stance and power. Your public execution, he said. And there's a hush, especially the actors on stage. Sheen was talking to them, and the actors scattered. So there's just one actor. One is taking care of the actor who's still in death saving throws, but all the other actors have disappeared into the wings, and they're off doing their own thing. And in order for me not to cut that loose end, the actor who's taking care of the fallen actor, he's not paying attention because he's doing medicine checks and helping revive him and stuff. But Sheen is listening. Tiffany, who is one of the shapeshifters, doppelgangers, she's listening on stage over the Black Loxodon's body. Onyx is listening. Rock, Page, Toot Toot, Zovrin, and Tipsy are all listening to Chainco's confession, as it were. That's why he cared so much about the Castle Lanterns. If he were to expose their dark secret, then he would have gained notoriety here in Waterdeep among the other nobles. You hear Tipsy right there going, Do you know what their dark secret is? I don't know, but he kept saying how excited he was for their party at the end of Fleet's Wake. How that was when he was going to report them, and it will change everything. He got a ticket. He said he was going to give me an invitation, but that looks all fucked now. And the various characters in the theater are in varying levels of shock. Paige is probably the most distraught as she's now starting to shake, and almost vibrating off her is the teal sand, and Rock's trying to comfort her. But Chainco seems to be the second most in shock, and he's staring down at this lifeless form of the person he took the most hit points away from, pushing him over the railing. And you can see his shock shift from stun to... You see more recognition and emotions cross over his face as he looks up to Victorious. But Glimmer found me and told me you destroyed the paintings. Thank you for that. I got a message from Citadel Adbar that my son, my only son, 2 nights ago fell ill and was completely and suddenly at the brink of death, and that only yesterday morning he felt better. That's the cruel magic of the paintings. The hags would have taken my heir, the only heir to the Chainco fortune. They would have given me hair, but in return robbed me of my heir. The only reason he didn't die is because the painting was never finished. So, thank you all. I'm sorry that when I was in the Restful Lily that I kept trying to complete it, and that I was stubborn and despondent. But you've saved my family and my son. So, thank you very much. You've saved my life. I owe you my life 2 times over now, I would say. And Toot Toot in the middle of the auditorium. We are glad that you are here. Thank you for helping us. That was a very brave thing you did. But if I may ask, speaking of paintings, what happens to Circumstances painting? Glimmer told me that you got rid of all the paintings that we brought over. And then Onyx from onstage kind of looks like, makes eye contact with Tipsy, and then Tipsy slowly nods with his eyes wide. Yep, that's right. He tells Tiffany, yeah, that's right. And Chainco says, I would also like to destroy Circumstances painting. I have a feeling that if a person dies, then their painting still makes them suffer from beyond. So I want to get rid of every trace of the hags I possibly can. Toot Toot goes, we will certainly have... Yes, do you have access to his home? Yes, I do. Then, yes, bring it around Tipsy's Tavern tonight or tomorrow, and we will make sure that Onyx, you destroy it because you are very, very strong, and we don't have any more celestial blood. I don't want to keep going back to that reserve. Like, we can make sure that you hit it very good. And then Onyx looks up at Tiffany. Yeah, I hit things very good. And then Tipsy from over, little greedy bastard, Tipsy over Circumstances' body goes, hey, what do you think happens to Circumstances' fortune? And Chainco says, well, because of all the damage, I would like an audience with Princess Misdirection and have it sent to anywhere as defense funds. See it done properly. Because it's truly more money than I could ever think of, and it seems only fitting that the money funding their destruction should be the wealth that saves them and their people. And Toot Toot goes, excellent. Yes, I knew you were a good guy, Chainco. I knew it. Yes. Wonderful. Let's take care of that. Let's take care of Circumstances' body. And as you can see, Toot Toot kind of his mind reeling and trying to tie up the loose ends of the back of the house on the stage in front of and then his ears are kind of perked up towards the exits, and he can hear voices start to build, and he goes, okay, so, yes, let us, and then Chainco finally steps over Circumstance's body and Tipsy and walks up to Toot Toot. Really? Glimmer told me that you defeated them and that you were knocked out twice trying to get rid of them yourself, so thank you. I was weak, and that's what I thought about destroying Circumstance's painting as soon as we got back into Waterdeep, but with his promise of helping me establish a base here in Waterdeep, and his initial promise of fame and fortune, it was a lot to be tempted with. You are quite welcome, and if I may, you can establish yourself as a great jeweler that the Chaincos are with Glimmer. He's a very good guy as well. And then Chainco's face kind of brightens up. Yeah, all that glimmers. Yeah. And you can see his very slow gears start to turn into motion as Chainco is getting thoughts. Wonderful. But we have a body to deal with. We have two bodies to deal with. Zovran. And Zovran... Interesting. Because, as always, folks, I've prepared a lot, but now the pieces and the steps are solidifying, so this is happening in a completely different order than I all thought to, which is beautiful. Zovran says, okay, I think getting Circumstance's body out of here would be a good idea. And definitely the Loxodon. Toot Toot, I will tell you everything you want to know about what just happened. I know because he wouldn't shut up about it. The drow points behind him to the fallen giant elephant. I know about the Mahouts. I know things that you don't know about the Mahouts. And I will tell you, but I'm very, very badly hurt. I think it's a good idea for the characters who can to go out and confront the audience or something, but I think it's best if I take Circumstance's body. I promise you that I'm good. And then Onyx on stage, he perks his head up at the insistent that that person's good, because he, a couple times in this show, has insisted the same. Yes, I'll take Circumstance's body. If Tipsy can help me, or this Dragonborn. Oh. Zovran wouldn't know Tipsy's name, so he'll go, or the gnome, if he could help me, or the Dragonborn, the dwarf. And then in the middle of his sentence, he looks up at Rock, the half-orc wizard, and he says, "You, hold on, why do I know you?" Too, I, and then realizing Zovran the drow goes, I remember seeing you. He points to Tipsy. You. He points to Onyx. You. He points to Toot Toot. Just because of before the incident. But you. I remember specifically making eye contact with you twice in the sewers. Part of me, not me, this form, he touches his drow body, But a part of me mentally, I threw an intellect devourer at you. And then I ran. And then, again, not me, but some of my facilities was using a portal to get out. But I turned around and made eye contact with you afterwards at a doorway. And then Rock remembers that this drow did not, but a tall, rubbery-skinned, pupilless-eyed being with 4 stout tentacles writhing on his face did. So, Rock speaks up. You are Mind Flayer? You are Ilfid? Not me, but it's all connected. I promise I will tell you. Toot toot. I will tell you everything. But we should go right now. And then Zovran weakly lunges forward and limps his way over to Circumstance's body. And Zovran, you need a roll for something, my guy. Strength -2. Yeah, he will do disadvantage strength because he is very weak right now. With a 15 and a 13, but that 13 -2. So with an 11, he does manage to go all the way to the back of the house with Tipsy, but he collapses down onto Circumstance. And with an 11, then he tries to get up. But he's weak and he falls forward again, and then Tipsy, here, I got you. And then Tipsy with a +1 strength. That's a 4. So with a 5 total, then Tipsy tries to help up both Circumstance's limp body form and then Zovran's limp body form. I can't really do this. Hey, can someone help me? And then Rock, who this whole time has been rubbing the back of Paige's body to comfort her. Yes, I will help. And then Rock swishes with his robe behind him towards the back, and the 3 of them will take Circumstance's body. Woof. Yeah. And then Zovran chimes up. Where can we go? Chainco points to the back of the box seats. Well, we came from there, but that's where there are stairs leading down into the lobby, so I don't think that's a very good idea. And then Toot Toot, whose ears are perking up even more and stiffening, goes, everyone, the audience is coming. Sheen, he yells up to the stage. And then Sheen, who has been absorbing all of this, how one of the 4 doppelgangers and shapeshifters from anywhere betrayed his people and led to such chaos and hurt and destruction. We can go backstage, all right? Get you 4, come on stage. My dear, he gestures out to Paige. Everything will be all right. I just need you to accompany us on stage. And then Tiffany in the Iagra light blue half-orc form goes, Sheen, I need you to help us with this body. I'm helping everyone with all the bodies. No, I need you to help me with something very specific. Onyx, let's drag him into the wings. And then Onyx, with hearts in his eyes, looks up at Tiffany, and so together the 2 strongest characters drag, with a little bit of effort, the squished body that's almost pulp and paste, just like this broken body, into the wings. And Sheen is conducting them And then he yells out into the wings, "Move aside, gentlemen, move aside. Clear the dressing rooms. That back hallway, this is an emergency, let's go. Wishes," who is on Sheen's shoulder. Go help. Go help Toot Toot, who is out in the middle of the lobby, and he's frantically turning around, and you can see his ears twitch towards the 5 on each side entrances and exits into the auditorium. And Sheen says to Wishes before he turns invisible, "I will be right there. I just need to deal with all of this, so wait for me. I have a plan." And so Wishes, the fairy dragon, turns invisible and lands on Toot Toot's shoulder. Toot Toot, oh, jeez. All right. But hurry! I'm hurrying, boy! And then Sheen accepts Tipsy, Zovran, and Rock carrying Circumstance's body, a very shaken, shell-shocked Paige, and they follow Tiffany and Onyx into the long stretch of dressing rooms behind the curtain, leading to Sheen's dressing room, star dressing room in the very back. And the wings are cleared out of all the actors. Yeah. As Zovran is weakly dragging and being dragged in this crowd, then he looks up to Tiffany and Sheen, and he goes, I am sorry about that. Boy, you shave your energy. You look fine right now, but not right now, okay? No, but I just wanted to say my sister is a princess too, so Zovran, wouldn't do anything to harm. I am sorry. Yeah, we will unpack that later. Right now, we just need to get everyone in the back. So this whole group is now in the back hallway of the dressing rooms. And yeah, Sheen points to his, hey, this is so cool. This is so cool. Sheen points to his dressing room with a giant hexagon star on it. Okay, that is my dressing room. No, Tiffany, the half-orc, the beefy half-orc speaks up. Sheen, we need to do this right now. Okay, what do you want to do? I want you to turn this, and then she gestures down to the Loxodon, who his chest cavities caved in and his face is, really indistinguishable, into me, okay? Whether illusionary or necromancy, I need you to change this into me, all right? I assume you have your own reasons. Gravel grasp. Yes, I do. And so Sheen nods and then looks to the end of the hallway and gestures for the 4 carrying Circumstance's body. To like kind of form a blockade and then block Sheen as he's starting to do some magic over this Loxodon. All right, Tiffany, turn around. Okay, general color. He's significantly taller than you. Yeah, but not by much, and his head is, with your fantastic work, I heard, his head is not as tall as it once was. Yeah, well, desperate times. So keep turning, okay? I got the general form. Excellent. This is a low-level, low-spell necromancy, but step back. And then before he starts waving his fingers over the body, then Onyx, hold on. we're trying to make this look like you? Yes. Here. And then Onyx grabs a hold of the two ornately scrimshawed tusks that, instead of the music instrument form that Toot Toot has, are carved with blood, like these little vignettes, very much murals of carnage and bloodshed. Then he, with his, let's say a hand axe instead of his ice anchor, starts chopping away at those. And then Tiffany, that's a good idea. And then she takes the other one, and so both of them have tusks. Onyx will roll something real quick. 9 and investigation 10 plus 1. So with a 10, then he goes, you know what? I don't think Toot Toot would very much appreciate that I have this. So here you go. And then he offers up his tusk up to Tiffany, and Tiffany, fine. She grabs it and then she pockets it. So Tiffany has both of the Black Loxodon's tusks. all right. Great. This is amazing. Cool. So we're watching this scene happen, and Sheen is casting magic over this corpse and shrinking it down into a caved-in chest, but still a rather large form because Yagra is 7'3", 7'1". But as the Black Loxodon is turning into Yagra the half-orc's form, then Yagra the half-orc's form is shifting into Tiffany, the 7'7" Goliath fighter. And Onyx, looking up again starry-eyed. And as soon as Sheen is done, then he goes, all right, I assume you have a plan. Yes, I do. Onyx, let's take him into the back alley. And then Onyx, okay. And then he helps drag. He feels a little conflicted, just a twang of conflict as he drags Tiffany's. As he drags, oh my gosh, there's so many names and so many things happening. He drags Yagra's body with the former Yagra through the back of the theater, through like these darkened wings and a little set construction site with different tools and giant planks of wood, and they leave out the back door. So then Sheen in this hallway goes, now you four, either no, this will be better. You hide in my dressing room right now. Hide him especially. There's a wardrobe full. There's a footlocker filled with costumes. So hide him in there, but make sure he's not leaking or anything. I don't want any of my costumes leaked upon. But there's various. I took the health potion that Tiffany gave me, but there are shelves back there, and there's always a little fruit basket before I perform, and some nice little snacks in the green room. So you go heal him. He points to Drow, Zavrin. Yeah. So just hide out there. Rock, if anyone comes, you hide, and just wait for me until the coast is clear. So Tipsy and Rock help a very wounded and Zavrin starts to nod off into the back room, dressing room, where they do sure enough find a fruit plate, a fruit and veggie plate, and they find a health potion and they dry off Circumstance's body with a robe, like a silk robe that they find, and wrap him up and shove him in the footlocker, but they're just waiting anxiously in that dressing room. So then Boy, howdy. Now, the other actor who was bent over, the fallen actor who was doing death saving throws, he helped revive him, and the actors kind of return from the wings and are trying to clean up some of the gore and restore some of the chaos that was happening on stage. And Sheen emerges from the wings alone, and he goes, "Oh, God, I wish that had happened during final dress rehearsal instead, but everything's fine now." He walks out to the actors now on stage. "Gentlemen, Gladstone and Antonio have fallen, so we will contact their families," but he looks down at the actor being revived. "It looks like Martinez de Estavalis is going to make it, so if I can have your help, tidy all this up, make it look like we did it on purpose." And it looks like he turns out to Toot Toot, who is just panicking in the middle of the aisle in the audience, helpless, and his hands are like doing this thing, grabbing in the air. And Sheen very calmly, I know. It looks like," Sheen is descending down the stairs now, "we'll have to reimburse the tickets and reschedule tonight. Hopefully we'll be back up tomorrow night. Thankfully we had swings, but that's a tragedy. Toot Toot, you seem to be the actor out of the bunch." "Yeah?" "Follow my lead as the lead of low stealth role." So then Sheen confidently walks towards one of the exits and swings open the doors, and right before he does, he whispers over to Toot Toot, "And I will tell the princess everything that has happened here, so you are good." Swings the door into absolute chaos and din as all the audience members are talking to themselves and to the other crew members who are trying to placate this loud, impossible crowd. And with his arms raised, then Sheen oh, cool. Yeah, we're doing this right now. All right. Sheen bursts through the door, a man who knows how to make an entrance. "Ladies and gentlemen and audience members, thank you so much. Wasn't that fantastic?" And then he starts the applause. Sheen, my man, with a +4 at disadvantage, you're going to have to roll to see how well that, some very charismatic individuals, they can make anything sound in such a way that it'll make an audience clap. You can make anything, you just have to have this certain inflection. I feel like I could say anything to a crowd and then have them go, "Yeah," afterwards and like clap and have like that delivery, and then everyone, yeah. So Sheen will roll, but because of all the circumstances, because of everything that has happened, and he will roll at disadvantage, but he has a +4 charisma. So here we go. That's a 2 and a 4. So you hear him, and then behind him, the only other person in this lobby that is clapping is Toot Toot, who is following Sheen's lead, and he goes. And then people are starting to quiet down, and then Sheen, I might have already been saying Volo instead of Sheen because of my dyslexia, but then Sheen is, I should, allow me to explain, I should have made a sign or something where
This is an entertainment experiment. Tonight was the first time we're going to do this. I should have offered you all a more traditional theatrical show, but I wanted to try something a little different. So this was very interactive. It was spooky and scary, wasn't it? The stakes were certainly high. And the crowd finally quiets down as, like a wave, then Sheen's words are passing through and calming people down. But from the back of the crowd, you hear the doors open, and then, excuse me, and you see a puff of yellow feathered wings, as Angel, Angel, and like a dozen city guardsmen immediately burst into the scene. What is going on? Oh, Angel, it's great to see you. So as I was telling my lovely, adoring audience, that tonight's performance was different. It was unique. A night they will never forget. So I do apologize again. You know me in experimental theater. Well, this was certainly something different, and the special effects, though, right? That was incredible. And then, again, he will try and coerce the crowd that this was all on purpose. This will be a straight roll. 16 plus 4 with a 20, then people... Oh. And it's the richer folks. You can tell that they're higher class, and so they go, oh, well, of course I knew that was the case. Oh, marvelous. Sheen, you've done it again. And so then they start clapping, and so then the middle class people are looking at the wealthier families. Oh, yeah, theater, right? And then, yeah, so now the whole crowd is like, oh, marvelous. That was incredible. The first half was what I expected. The second half, oh, boy. Is this still going to go on? Like, is there an act 2? And they start applauding, and Sheen looks up at Angel, who made his way up. Angel, the angelic Asimar. What is really going on here, Sheen? Like I said, it's a show, if you give after season just regular shows, then we're going to get less and less people coming in. So I wanted to spice things up a bit, surprise them, most definitely. Isn't that right, Toot Toot? And then Sheen looks up at Toot Toot, kind of with now eyes that go wide as soon as Sheen's head turns away from Angel's perspective, and Toot Toot noticing this as the lead goes, absolutely, and as a bard, may I say that was spectacular. There's no business like show business, it's no business, I know. Isn't that right, Sheen? Toot Toot reaches out a hand, and you can see just one golden musical note leave Toot Toot's palm, and then kiss Sheen's cheek, and turning around with this like gold energy beauty mark. Then Sheen goes, I'm sorry to have bothered you, shitty guardsman. And with that, Sheen will roll performance with advantage and Toot Toot's bardic inspiration, which just happened. So let's see, these two, and then Toot Toot's bardic inspiration is a D6, a D8. So here we go. Mark off. Toot Toot has one bardic inspiration left for the next little while, but here we go with advantage. Let's drop that die. Apparently, get that one out of its system with advantage with bardic inspiration. Oof, that's not good. But because it's a really big lie, then this makes sense.
Sheen rolled a 5 and a 6, so that's 6 with advantage. 6 plus 4, which is 10. But thankfully, with Toot Toot's D8 Bardic Inspiration, turned out to be a 6. So with a 16, woo, doggy, that would have been rough. If I mean, that was pretty low, but we buffed it, so that's good. Yikes. So with a 16, then Sheen delivers this lie, and it harkens back to episode 3, Tired Team, where, is that right? Yes, Tired Team, where Durnan in the Yawning Portal talked to Anghel, but Durnan told a version of the truth. Not necessarily out of order, but not the whole truth. Here, Sheen is completely fabricating. He is performing. He is weaving a whole new tale to Anghel. And with that, Sheen, Anghel? And Anghel looking at Sheen, and then the applause from the crowd, and then up at Toot Toot, who raises both eyebrows, because one eyebrow's suspicious. So both eyebrows. Then Anghel, all right, but let us know when you are doing something that would disrupt the peace, because we got a lot of screaming out of the auditorium. So Seven Masks Theater is not necessarily a hotspot of crime and debauchery, but like theater, put out a warning next time on the doors and in the program before something like this happens, okay? Absolutely. Fantastic advice. We will definitely do that for the next show. Not for the rest. Not. And then he projects out to the crowd, who the applause dies down a little bit to catch Sheen's words. So that was just one night. The rest of Low Stealth Roll's run will be the traditional show that you've come to expect, the farce that keeps on farcing. So please, on me, enjoy the reception that we were planning to have after the show, but let's break into the bubbly now, says Sheen. And more applause is met, and the audience is ruckus now and going, wow, that was really good. Who are those other two actors who were not Sheen? And the actors that we've come to know and love. And a couple come up to Toot Toot and go, hey, you were part of that, huh, too? You yelled in the whole theater. Just keep in mind that normally some of the shows here at the Seven Masks Theater are family friendly, so don't necessarily use those curses next time. But you're such a performer, huh? Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. You get a sense that Toot Toot both loves the attention after a show, and it makes him a little awkward and uncomfortable, but he's working on it. Hey. So that's happening. Chaos. Toot Toot scans the audience, and notably Volo is not there and Bonnie is not there. So Toot Toot accepts the former as bound to happen, and then takes the latter as a sign that the doppelganger princess has made it to safety. So that's good. Yep. Yep. And then right before this next bit, then Sheen, kind of being pulled into the crowd, goes, Toot has such meta moments. It's the whole show, baby. So you hear before Toot Toot is engulfed into the audience, then Sheen says, and if you believe in it, to ward off bad luck in the theater, you go outside, spin around 3 times, and spit. Which then I will roll percentage dice to see exactly how many people do that. A good third, 30%, a good third of the audience, their eyes widen, and then they like shove past the other 2/3 as they exit, and then you hear a lot of just a lot of spit going on. Let's see, 167 visible audience members divided by 3, that's 40, no, that's at least 50 people going outside him. And then coming back like relieved, and then the other 2/3 watch them exit, mass exodus, and then they like laugh and brush it off, and then they reach for bearded, bunned crew members going around with glasses of champagne, and then they all cheers to a good show. Spit shine. Exactly. So, with that, Toot Toot watches everyone leave, and then he goes to the adoring 10 people around him looking up at this new actor in Seven Masks Theater, and then Toot Toot a little awkwardly goes, "Comedy tonight." So, I'm going to use the bathroom. Man, these last couple episodes I've been drinking very well beforehand. But, yep, I need to do an intermission right now. I will be right back. Excuse me. $53. That's 167 divided by 3, right? 63. No, 53. 55.6. Okay, there we go. So, then after Toot Toot's little stinger, then he looks up at Angel, who's a little exasperated and over it because this is a false alarm. And Angel like makes eye contact with Toot Toot and then rolls his eyes a little bit. Well, hold on. Rolls his eyes a little accusatorily at Toot Toot, and then starts to exit out. And then Toot Toot goes, Angel, real quick before you go, if I may talk to you a little quieter. And so he then ushers Angel to the empty theater, inside the empty auditorium, and he goes, Angel, I am sorry that you were summoned here tonight. That was, I assure you, not planned. But as you said, you owe us one last favor, and I'm going to cash it in right now. When we were destroying the paintings, we came across one that was a severe-looking couple with 2 kids, and then something dark and looming in the background. Do you remember? Yes, that is the castle lanterns. You asked about them briefly. Yes, so this is my favorite to you. I know we're still new here in Waterdeep, but I hope that we have proven ourselves trustworthy. Please investigate the castle lanterns. Most notably, start with the Plaza Grelhund, because there is something nefarious going on there. I know it's a lot to ask for you to check in on a noble family, but I feel something very wrong is going on. I can't tell you who I've heard this from, but the party that they are going to throw at the end of Fleet's Wake, my heebie-jeebies are up, and I would love for you to come back and tell me that it was just a false lead, but I sincerely believe that many people are in danger. Part of my team also heard that there was a large amount of a toxic venom, a poison heading into the Plaza Grelhund called Midnight Tears. And at the mention of that, then Angel perks up. Toot, that's a very heavy accusation. All right? When you asked for my blood, then that was a bit much, but this is severe. And if I go over there and investigate and find nothing, I'm afraid you're going to be in a decent amount of trouble. I understand. I understand, and I accept all repercussions therein. I sincerely believe, however, to my core, that many people are in danger, and I would love a stern talking to and a slap on the wrist for that not to be the case. But Angel, please, the sooner the better. But before the Fleet's Wake, there is a party going on at the very end of Fleet's Wake, but just check in on them earlier, okay? All right, I will. Let me check my notes. Yes, consider this the last favor, looking into the castle lanterns, but starting at the Plaza Grelhund. Okay, I will. I will go after this. Toot with the troll and the Yawning Tavern and the Kenku warehouse and then the portraits. Either trouble finds you or you find trouble. So keep an eye on that. And as Angel excuses himself and exits out, spreading out his giant big bird feathered wings, parting the crowd, then Toot under his breath goes, I know. And then materializing on his shoulder is Wish's kind of looking at Toot and then at the exiting Aasimar. Oh, Wishes. Does this happen all the time at the Seven Masks Theater? And then a wide-eyed Wishes looks back at Toot. Do you drink? And then going invisible. Toot feels his shoulder lift and hears the flapping, and then a commotion as one of the waiters, his platter, gets knocked into, and 3 champagne flutes are risen into the air and tip over and empty into thin air, and then they drop. So, oh, Wishes. I love my fairy dragon. So, all right. Again, all of this happened out of order, so I'm catching up now. This is great. So, we cut to a back door opening into an alley, and it's night outside, and with some considerable effort and physicality, then Tiffany, the Goliath fighter, and Onyx, the dwarf barbarian, drag this light blue half-orc into the alley, and Tiffany says, all right, so I know where we need to put this body, but hold on. And she rummages through her pockets and then starts shoving things into Yagra's pockets, the dead corpse's pockets. And there's definite direct purpose to her work, but also a little bit of nerves that Onyx hasn't seen. And she, after a minute, then she also puts the great axe that Tiffany was using into the corpse's hands and takes instead the adamantine maul and puts it on her back. And then she goes, okay, let's go. And they drag off into the night. They need to roll stealth roll. So let's bring up Tiffany's sheet and Onyx's stealth. Onyx has a 0. And I haven't worked out the mechanics of the bone armor clinking and clanging, so I'm just going to leave it at 0. And Tiffany, the Goliath fighter's stealth, is -2 with her -2 dexterity. So that's going to be an awesome number. Let's see, blue, and yeah. This is going to be a low set of numbers. Oh, boy. All right. Onyx rolled a 2, plus a 0. Tiffany rolled a 14 minus 2, so a 12. So a 0 and a 12. Nope. A 2 and a 12. With that, then sure enough, Onyx's bones and his armor is like clanking together and like wind chiming as they're making their way, trying to stick to the dark parts of the alleys. And thankfully, all the kerfuffle was happening in front of Seven Masks Theater, with people running out, screaming for the city guardsmen, and then the city guardsmen running into the theater, and then 50 people exiting, rotating around and hawking loogies. So that's where a lot of the attention in this courtyard is. But the two strongest party members are dragging this body. As they do, then these two very beefy individuals, Goliath fighter, who's 7'7", and then Onyx, the dwarf barbarian, who is only 5'1", which is tall for a dwarf, but really wide and intimidating looking, with all of these trophies and this red mantle. The people who do cross their path, then Onyx goes, it's fine. And then Tiffany, yeah, she just had too much to drink. And she will roll deception with that, which is +0. 2 + 0. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. That's low. Oh, that's ramifications. Oh, shit. All right. Well, the first people that like give them wide side eyes as they're crossing paths, then it's, oh, you know what'll be good? Nards. All right. Like this second wave of city guardsmen who haven't gotten the call that it was a false alarm at the Seven Masks Theater. They come, not like the 10 people that were part of the first wave, but maybe 5. So out from the various alleyways leading away from the courtyard. Then you see a pair of city guardsmen come in and then one individual. But coming towards them right now are two other city guardsmen. And one was this wrinkly-faced human man, older, tan skin. And Tom Lee comes up. Are you sure about that? Yes, says Tiffany awkwardly in a bad attempt. Is there anything anyone can do? Because this isn't good. Onyx has reckless attacks and bullshit. Onyx has fighting. Animal handling, athletics, intimidation. Oh, boy. Intimidation might. Survival, that'll be a stretch. I don't want to do that. Tiffany has athletics, intimidation also, and perception, survival. Okay, let's have these two intimidating figures try and intimidate. Oh, shit. All right. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay, well, here's something, though. Fuck. So. I spilled water all down my face. A little D&Me homebrew is for intimidation, for a Goliath fighter, and for a dwarf barbarian. Instead of tying it to charisma, which is normally, so charisma-based skills are deception and intimidation, performance, and persuasion. So instead of tying it to that, because a dwarf barbarian and a Goliath fighter would be very intimidating, I read an optional rule that says intimidation could be feats of strength instead, so you can use your strength modifier on top of that. So that is what I've decided to do for Onyx and now for Tiffany. So after the flat out lie happens, then both of them with those same dice. So the blue one is Tiffany, and then the bone one, the one skulls all over it. I will roll those for these characters. Yeah, you can see skulls all around it. They will roll intimidation against this city guardsman, this police officer. Okay, so the one who just lied, Tiffany, she rolled a 4 plus a 7, so that's 11, and she like straightens up and puffs out her chest a little bit, and she's 7'7", which is huge compared to the 5'7" Tom Lee city guardsman. But Onyx, who rolled a 12 plus a 7 with a 19, then him over this still body, but with all of his bones, and you could just see malice in his eyes, and you can see all sorts of bones across his chest plate and in his beard and dangling from a gross thing tied to his hair. And Onyx goes, "Yeah, she had too much to drink because she was scared over at the Seven Masks Theater because there's a ruckus. So we're taking her to safety because she panic drank." And Tom Lee stares at Tiffany and isn't moved by her demonstration of power, but at Onyx, who takes a big step forward. Then Tom Lee goes, "All right, we'll just make sure she gets home safe. We're going to figure all this out." And he nods to his other city guardsmen and clocks both of these very strong people as he runs away. And then we see the camera from his point of view leaving down the alleyway as Tiffany and Onyx start shrinking, and then they bend back down to continue dragging Yagra onward. That was interesting. That was a cool way to handle it. And yeah, Tom Lee and the other city guardsmen pick up pace as 55 people leave the auditorium and start spitting. Because that might be tied to like, oh, the drink, they might be spitting like in the UK definition of it, where like you drink so much that you spit, which is throwing up. So that could tie together, but interesting. Victor, future Victor, write that down. All right. There's like one hair right here. Okay. So they're dragging that down. Stealth didn't work out so well, but intimidation sure did. So after like 10 more minutes of ducking into shadowy alleys, then Tiffany at the last little bit, all right, well, we need to turn off here. And they weave through darker corridors, and Tiffany, there is, ooh, I think that was it. Tiffany takes Onyx to this unassuming alleyway, and she kind of leans up against the wall, panting a little bit, because Yagra, who is 7 foot something, she's heavy, and especially the dense black Loxodon, where game mechanics wise, there is not a spell that would transform one dead body into another one. So as a D&Me exclusive, I'm going to make one up that Sheen did that would transfer over the, like, not an illusionary form, because if he did seeming, then if you put your hand through where Yagra and the Black Loxodon don't exactly overlap, then there would be a little like illusionary glitch and hiccup. So Sheen did some actual necromancy, and Tiffany is leaning up against the wall. Okay, we're here. And then she points to a brick, and Onyx squints, and he wouldn't have seen this if Tiffany didn't point it out, especially in this dark, mostly unlit back alleyway. But Tiffany points to a little carving in one of the bricks next to some discolored bricks in a rectangle that Onyx also would not have noticed. And the carving, the etching, is a little winged serpent, which he remembers is the symbol of the Black Network, or the Xantirum. And very much in a video game, then you see the discoloration of the door, this giant rectangle that Tiffany is in front of. Okay. So, we leave her here. Okay? And then Onyx nods once. And then they throw her ungracefully on the ground. And then Tiffany exits the alleyway. And then Onyx kind of hops and skips to catch up. And unceremoniously, they dump the body and leave. Then on the walk back, it's quiet. There are some lamps lit on their walk down, and it's a crisp night. Tiffany is staring straight ahead, and then we see coverage on Onyx as he's very thoughtfully walking forward, and we see him steal a glance over at Tiffany's giant hand, like swaying in and out of frame, and then Onyx tracks it. Okay. And right before he reaches for it, then Tiffany goes, "Just so you know, Yager is now my dead name, okay?" And then Onyx, not grabbing for the hand, goes, "Do you know what a dead name is?" "No, I don't." "Okay. A dead name is where
you go through a transformation, and then who you were previously is no longer applicable. And you're this new person, and that previous name is now moot, is no longer valid. I'm not Yagra anymore. You got it? Oh yeah, that's fine. That makes sense.
And they're walking for a little bit.
Are you Tiffany, the Goliath fighter now? For this next little bit, yeah. I can transform. I'm not a doppelganger, but I'm a low-level shapeshifter. But not like Bonnie and Sheen. Sheen. Not like them. I can't do it with other forms. Like I have the one form. And so I can't go back to her anymore. It'll take me a while to train to get a new form. So it takes a long time. Sheen has to walk me through it because I was her for a while, but yeah, I'll be fine. Oh, okay.
And then they keep walking for a little bit. Onyx tracks the swinging arm, and Tiffany goes, "My first dead name was Brick. That was who I was before Tiffany. But I'm not him anymore." And then Onyx letting that register.
Oh. Okay. But you're Tiffany now, right?
And then Tiffany, looking down at Onyx, is reading his face. Let's do a roll for that. With a 12, what's your insight? +1 with a 13. And yeah, Tiffany can read that there's no judgment in Onyx's face. You can see the thought plinko down in his mind, and looking up at Tiffany is just a very innocent and like sincerely questioning individual. There's no anger or disgust in his face. He's just curious.
So you're Tiffany though now, right? Yeah. Tiffany, because you're as gorgeous and tough as a diamond. Yeah. Okay.
And then they're walking for a little bit more, and Tiffany huffs in amusement, and we cut back to Onyx like watching the hand again. And Tiffany walking forward, not noticing Onyx watching her hand. Then she goes,
"Yeah, Tiffany Gravel Grasp."
And let's roll to see if Onyx tries to grab for that hand. It's very much Jesse Eisenberg from Zombieland, the first one, to put the piece of the hair strand behind the ear. So Onyx evens, yes, odds, no. 3 odd, no. Then he just watches the hand, and he looks up, and then in his mind, this is not the right time to just grab a hand. So he looks up very lovingly at this very tall Goliath fighter, but he instead decides to enjoy this walk with Tiffany down a dark and quiet water deep, which is pretty romantic. Yeah. Amazing. Cool. So back at the reception, then Let's see. What would happen? What would happen first? Okay, so I have a scene out in the lobby, and then I have a new scene that could happen in the dressing room. So, scene lobby, even. No, odd, because that's one. And let's do this die. 14, even. So we are now in the dressing room with Tipsy and Rock, and Paige probably went with them, huh? Yeah. Paige and Zovran and Circumstance in a trunk. So Paige is just sitting. Yeah, the boys would have let Paige sit in Sheen's overstuffed leathery chair that has a lot of dirt, like this red orange clay all over it. And then she's sitting, and then she's just shaking. And Rock goes, well, you helped defeat a very bad guy, so I understand that unfortunately in adventuring there are casualties, so you did nothing wrong. And she looks up. I did nothing wrong? No, Rock, I murdered someone. Yes, but to save how many? And then Paige, with her keen mind, and then she goes, there was 167 audience members, not including ourselves, and then our party, and then the actors and crew members answers. So, I didn't like it at all. I know. Some magic comes at a hefty price, so we will help you control it more. I will help you control it more. Rock says, thinking of spell logic that'll help you aim better and control the magic around some other people. So Rock is rolling through his mental Rolodex of that, and then Paige just is shuddering in the chair. And then a small little gnome hand offers up some kiwi.
Do you want some kiwi? I ate most of it, but I thought that you might want some. You want some kiwi? Or do you want... there's broccoli. I like the broccoli, and then you dip it in the ranch. Do you want that?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to have the broccoli and the ranch.
Waddles! Then he pulls out Waddles.
Do you want broccoli and ranch? Do I want broccoli and ranch? Of course I want broccoli and ranch. Give me some of that. Okay, here you go. And then a baby carrot. Look how big that baby carrot looks in little Waddles. Oh, Waddles is a huge rat. Look at it. He's eating a full-size carrot. Oh, no. Here, hold this baby corn, too. Look, he's adorable, right? Yeah.
Oh, I just read the tone of the room, so I'm sorry. Are you sure you don't want kiwi? No, I don't want kiwi.
Okay, that's fine. Sovereign, you want some kiwi?
Yeah, I'll take some kiwi.
Here you go, man.
So, Zovran, who is sitting on the trunk, and he's just exhausted. Then after accepting a loose piece of kiwi in his hand, then he shoves it in his mouth, and then he leans back, puts the back of his head up against the back of the wall, and then just sighs heavily. Yeah, okay.
Waddles and a baby carrot. Yeah, just...
It's very cute. It's kind of like a chinchilla, where when a chinchilla is standing on its hind legs, then you hand it anything, and then its paw just automatically goes out and grabs it. Like, I saw some cute little videos of chinchillas standing up, and then someone hands them, like, the string of a balloon, and then he just grabs it. And there's just a chinchilla holding a balloon. So that's what I'm picturing in my head. So... What happens next? So out in the lobby, Toot Toot is like awkwardly accepting praise about the performance, and like, oh no, this is my first time watching a show here, but that was, boy howdy, that was unique. I feel that tomorrow's show will be a lot better, hopefully, so make sure to come back for that. Sheen said that he might reimburse your tickets or let you come back tomorrow or something, so Sheen is a man of his words, and man of many words, of words. And then this gregarious voice chimes through the lobby. Now, I say that was quite an exceptional display of craftsmanship and expertise. As Toot Toot looks up to the source of this voice and sees the crowd parting around this vision in white and these horns, but from the side of his head, as a minotaur enters, and 6 foot tall, decked out in this white leather, then this white haired minotaur with giant horns sticking out the side of his head goes, "That was just one of the best shows that I have seen in quite some time here. What is your name, good sir?" "I am Toot Toot, the Loxodon Bard." "Well, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Alex Larg, and I feel large with a J at the end. And that was just, oh wait, wasn't that fine?" And then he looks to some of the nameless audience members around, and they, "Oh yeah, no, that was wonderful." And then some applause happens around Toot Toot and Alex Large with a J. Now, I've been to quite a many shows, and I consider myself a man of many faces as well, but that was something real special. He points at Toot Toot. "Oh, well, thank you. The real actor and star here is Sheen." No, I've seen Sheen quite a bit of times. I'm familiar with his work, but you rang true. You have something certain and special about you. So, are you new around Waterdeep?" "Yes, me and my friends came in, not even a 10-day ago, probably. Let me check my notes. A little more than a 10-day ago. It was more like 12 days, but we are new here, and we have an establishment, Tipsy's Tavern, if you're ever interested. We're building it up. It's not quite there yet, but we are looking to be a staple of the town." Good. I hope to work with you again. I have a couple different quests in mind for a gentleman of your expertise, and I noticed also that you were sitting with some fine folks also, that I was being escorted out by, some of these security cats, but are you a man of many talents, Mr. Toot Toot, Sir Toot Toot? "Yes, I am. And my team, we're named Victorious. My team also are quite skilled individuals and adventurers. So, what business are you in, Mr. Large?" "No, please, call me Alex." "All right then, Alex. What business are you in?" "Well, one could say adventuring as well. And if you're looking to make some coin, then it'll be my pleasure to give you a couple adventures. And it'll be real fun. I'm looking forward to working with you, Mr. Toot Toot." "Well, you as well, Alex. You as well." And Toot Toot will roll insight because he's a little suspicious, just as any good player would be when their DM throws a lot of twists and turns at them. Toot Toot is suspicious. So let's roll for Toot Toot. Let's use the Bard die. Critical Rolls is Bard die. Scanlan has some musical notes on it. Insight +4 because you're proficient. Can we do anything else? Can we do anything else to buff that number? Not really. And he can't use his last bardic inspiration on himself yet. That's a higher level bard thing, where he can eventually get that. But a 3, a plus 4 for a 7. So he graciously accepts the praise from this Minotaur, who kind of does like a curt bow and backs up. Now, where is the man of the hour? Where is Sheen? And so then he disappears into the crowd, and Toot Toot notes that. An interesting fella. And then... yeah, at the end of the night, like, as the crowd outside dies down... No, as it's still uproar, yeah, as the crowd is still going, then Sheen eventually walks up, and you can tell he's a little flushed in the face from just the heat of all these bodies, and maybe he was offered a champagne flute or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, and he comes up. Now I still have Alex in my mouth. Okay, Sean Connery. There we are. Toot toot, my lad. Isn't this something special? I always love the energy after a show. I probably shouldn't drink so much before I have to do a show tomorrow. If we do a little show tomorrow, hopefully we do. But shit, your party members. Let's go back and check on them. And so then they go through the empty audience, and you can see a couple crew members sweeping on stage and setting things up for maybe tomorrow's performance. I will roll to see if they will do a show tomorrow. But then they go into the lobby, into the back hallway with the dressing rooms, and then Sheen, knocks. It's me, Sheen. Open up. And then, you see the door open and just a crack, and it's darkness except for the last 2 feet and 10 inches, and Tipsy is staring out suspiciously.
What's the password?
That's a password. I didn't know there's a password. Did you know there's a password, Toot Toot? Tipsy let us in.
That's the password. Good job. Congratulations.
So Tipsy opens the door, and then Sheen snubbles in a little bit.
More adoring fans. So how's everybody? Oh, you ate all the kiwi.
And
Tipsy goes, yeah, Zovrin had some.
Oh, well. All right. That's fine. I will get more tomorrow. It's in my stipulation contract. Let's get you all out of my dressing room.
And through the back alley again, then they all sneak out. Oh, what do they do with Circumstance's body? I like the password. What do they do with Circumstance's body? Do they have sunglasses? Could they weaken at Ernie's it? It's a chameleon. Meat pies.
Uh-huh.
What do they do with frickin' Circumstance's body? Yeah, if Onyx was there, he might suggest meat pies and giving it to the Buzzard Bros, but let's say for right now, Tipsy... No, because Tipsy's inventory... Okay. I will say, with Sheen there as the actor, and Toot Toot with the disguise kit, and Tipsy with the disguise kit, then those 3, along with... Oh, Tipsy does not have a disguise kit. I thought he did. Tipsy does have a Tipsy costume and a regular costume. But with that and then an illusion wizard, then they make Circumstance to look like
Like, they put a lot of makeup on him so that he's not scaly and reptilian. Then with some, like, putty, Sheen smooths out his face to look more like a skin, flesh instead of scales. Then they throw some wardrobe on him from some of the other dressing rooms, and they make him look sickly with, like, bags under his eyes and sunken in, like, hollow cheeks. And to pass up the, oh, he's sick, then, like, Toot Toot can carry him, I guess. Yeah, they do that. They exit out the back alleyway, and then they return to, oh, shit. Rock would hold Circumstance, because he's a smaller little fella. He's like 5 something. And then Toot Toot is carrying, for the most part, Zovran, who is still very weak. And then they stumble on home to Tipsy's Tavern. Rock will deposit Paige off at Bookworm's Treasure, where he'll spend some time with her, just making sure she is in a better place mentally. And Toot Toot. Whoa. Man, a lot has happened in this episode, huh? Toot Toot puts Circumstance's body just in one of the spare rooms of Tipsy's Tavern that doesn't have anything in it. Because he's certainly not having him in his room. Maybe in the common room on the second floor where they had all of the paintings. Yeah. And then Tipsy and Waddles go off to their room for the night. Wishes flies onto Rock's shoulder. Does he want to stay with Rock, or does he just want to go home? Yeah, Rock goes, Wishes, do you want to go with me with Paige? And then Wishes, and then goes with the rest of Victorious to Tipsy's Tavern, and then goes into the various rooms and hangs out there. But Toot Toot and Zovran hang out in a dark, empty tap room. I like it. The fireplace is lit. Zovran is sat in front of the fire in a chair and some blankets around him, and Toot Toot is preparing like a drink or some warm hot chocolate. And yeah, that's great. Yeah, Zovran is cradling a warm mug in his hands, just taking in the warmth and sitting in front of the fire and regaining his strength a little bit, but you can tell that he's going to pass out real good tonight. Which, where is Zovran going to sleep? There's the attic storage on the 4th floor, or the den in the 2nd floor, and another spare bedroom on the 2nd floor. So there's a couple places, but Toot Toot is sitting silently listening to the crack of the fire. And after a little bit, both of them are staring into the fire. Zovran, I'm sorry. What for? For stabbing you and then the whole commotion down at the theater. I was not fully in control. I could see that. You know, the Mahouts are my family, my tribe, my herd, back where I'm from, the Sandlust Desert. We've spent generations fighting the Mahouts, and we've never gotten a clear sense of what they are or who they are. We've heard that they are different races. When I was growing up, I thought that they would be like an evil elf or something. But no, there are orcs and dwarves and gnomes and halflings and elves and a Loxodon and a dark elf or drow. Toot Toot makes eye contact with Zavrin. Toot Toot is making his face very hard to read. Yeah, that's right. It's not a specific race or class, but there is something that connects us all. Yes, the green flames coming out of your eyes, and the bloodlust against the KHD clan. All of my relatives would be completely up in arms right now. Me sitting here at a fire with you, a member of the Mahouts, and not attacking you, and disemboweling you, or gorging you with my tusks, or casting dissonant whispers, or shatter, or taking you out with my didgeridoo quarterstaff, or causing you immense harm for the generations, the ages of death and destruction that your people have caused my people. So, Zavrin, I would very much like an explanation, please. And you deserve one, yes. The Mahouts, we are all connected because my name is Zavrin. I am a prince of drow people. Zawafin is my sister. She's the princess. She ran away years ago. Because honestly, royalty doesn't fit her. And I fitted a bit more, but I was tasked to find her. And bring her back to the kingdom. She didn't want to be found. I looked all the normal places, but she escaped, she traveled, she really did not want to be found. She made herself very hard to track, and I'm very good at survival and all that, but in one of my nights away, my party got ambushed, and most of my traveling companions, guards from the kingdom, they were taken and killed, but a ragtag group of just random races, they did find me, and they did things to me where the night before I was fine, but then it's this influence they have over you, telling you to do things that you don't want to do, but you finding the impulse within you to follow through, and they were all connected. You keep saying connection. Please clarify that. Yes. There, what the half-orc was saying earlier. Which one? The wizard one, the purple? Yes. Rock the half-orc, wizard. Onyx, the dwarf barbarian. Tipsy, the forest gnome rogue. Toot Toot, the Loxodon bard. Yes. Zavrin, the apologetic dwarf. No, Drow. I'm very tired. Please continue. Toot Toot is not in the mood for levity. Yes. As Rock was saying, mind flayers and illithids. What do you know about them? We met one in the sewers, so did you see through their eyes? Yes. Yes, I did, because he controlled me. He was controlling the Black Loxodon. He was controlling the Black Loxodon, who was one of the older members of the Mahouts. And my given name was Nihilus the Fifth. So whenever the Mind Flayer reached into me to redirect my purpose to control me, then that is where the flames come out of. That's the only external sign that I am being controlled. Right now, I'm completely exhausted. I think you beat the crap out of me so that I wouldn't be under his influence right now. When I rest, then that might be a different case for tomorrow, but the origin of the Mahouts, the people who have been attacking your family for generations and killing them as much as they were being killed, they are all being controlled by the hive mind of mind flayers. They are a subterranean species. They work in this humongous network that spans miles and miles and miles underneath the ground. They are vermin, as far as I'm concerned. They are impossibly tough and resilient. They're very hard to beat. But that is where the Mahouts come from. That is the origins of your nemesis, your nemesi. And I want nothing to do with them. When I'm lucid, then I am trying to get out of their influence. But every once in a while, they reactivate me, and I am one of their assassins. So you took out the Black Loxodon tonight. He was from the Sandlust also, but he is not, as you well recognize, he isn't part of the Cage D. And speaking of fires, then he points to the fire, and Toot Toot is triggered back to his past, where these vicious bonfires in the desert are being hootin' and hollerin', and his relatives give offerings to this fire and talk about that bloody day's victories and mourn the awful carnage losses, and how more and more Toot Toot sat away from the fires until, again, under Zawafin's influence with the Bard group, then he was brought back to that campfire. And he looks over and sees Zawafin sitting in the chair, huddled with the blanket, and she's gripping onto the mug, and she looks up, and Zovrin's voice comes out. So I am sorry. Then I did find her. Zovrin snaps back into place, and Toot Toot. Yes. Tell me about that. Well, I found her. The Bard group was together, and you were about to move to another destination. You were very hard to track, and because I was Nihilus then I took her back. And I know where she is. I need to regain my strength, but we can go find her and try I don't know how, but we can try and take down the Mahouts. But at least now you know. For the Mahouts, the Mind Flayers, the Illithids, they have this giant hive mind. Like the Intellect Devourer that I threw at your friend. It's this giant brain sitting in a vat. I haven't been down there. I've only been surfaced influenced, but that's really the biggest way to defeat the whole swarm of them. But as you can imagine, it's in the middle of the whole Mind Flayer city. So I really don't know how to help you. I want to help you, Toot, but I don't know how to do that right now. But I want to get my sister back, and I knew you had a relationship with her, so I want to get her back for both of us. Will you help me? And then the camera shot is the fire, and then Zovrin's weak dark purple hand extends, and there's a beat, and then a giant Loxodon hand comes to meet it, and they shake. So, yep, that is that. Wow, a lot has happened tonight. Thank you so much, Scott, in chat. Great job and story tonight. Yeah, episode 49, next episode, episode 50, wraps everything up for season 1. So that's a lot of good. I'm going to check my notes because it's still early, but I want to save stuff for episode 50. Hoo-wee dog! Any questions from chat, from the audience about like wrapping up Circumstances storyline and the theater? Yeah, I don't. That was a lot of let's see. Would there be a scene of Onyx and Tiffany getting back? Onyx eventually comes back into Tipsy's Tavern, and by that point, the fire has died down low, and both Zovrin and Toot are fast asleep in their chairs. Yeah, Dodie or something says, I was wondering about the green light. Yeah, not really, because the rest I can do next episode. So next episode, which is the last episode of season 1. So lovely. Yeah, let's end it there. Oh boy. For my outro, because this episode, I thought about it a lot, and episode 49, which will be called Post-Mortem. A post-mortem in terms of theater is after you close a show, after you wrap up the final run of a theater show. Dodie or something says, great seed sowing for the next season. Thank you, right? I have 44 pages of notes for the current game for season 2 and beyond. Like, I have many notes and many ideas and many awesome stories, and I went through like maybe 20 pages of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So like, I went off script a lot, but there's a lot that I do want to figure out. So yes, I really want to do a season 2, but I really also need to do a break, because episode 50 means I've been doing it for 50 Wednesdays. So I've been doing it for a full year. As of tomorrow, a full year. So I do need a break. I'm going to go off and do some amazing things, but I really do want to do a season 2, but I don't have a timetable for that yet.
Anyways, post-mortem for a theater, in terms of theater, is when you wrap a show after you finish the run of a theater show, then the production company and sometimes the cast and crew all get together and then talk about what worked, what didn't work, what they learned from that experience, what they would do differently for the next show, how they will improve upon the next show that they do. And that's called a post-mortem, which sounds a lot more morbid outside of a theater vocabulary. But in terms of theater, because episode 47 was Act 1 and episode 48 was curtains. Curtains? Is it plural? Yes, curtains. So, episode 49, Postmortem. And with that, thank you very much for watching and listening. I'm Victor Rivera, and this was D&Me, a show where I play Dungeons & Dragons by myself. I stream on Wednesday nights on Twitch on 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I upload the video the following morning, Thursdays, on my YouTube page. Today's show will be up Thursday. Tomorrow, the 1-year anniversary, July 28th, 2021, and next week's episode, the last episode of Season 1, Episode 50, will be August 3rd, Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and a bunch of other stuff. Where on my link tree? That's linktr.ee/D&Me Adventures. And like Gnome. Yep, next episode, episode 50, the last one of season 1. Then Saturday, please join us for the season 1 celebration. Monday is my birthday, August 1st. So send me stuff. Except you two. Dodie or something and Angelito Wapo. You sent me so much stuff already, so you already did so much. Oh, I'm gonna drink that whole water bottle as soon as I log off. I roll to see which of my characters gives tonight's outro. Tipsy is 1, Onyx is 2, Rock is 3, Toot Toot is 4. 4. Toot Toot. Hello. Thank you. Yeah. We're almost there, folks. That's all, folks. No, I think I did that song already, but what's a is there a musical reference of like the end? Well, not the ones I'm thinking are very final, which might be great for the end of. No, okay, I'll do. Great show, thanks. So long and thanks for all the fish. So sad it had to come to this. We tried to warn you all, but oh dear. This is the end, my faithful friend, the end. Yeah, I like it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.